What's up, guys? It's Adam, aka Marv, and this is Marfoogle News, the only live call-in show on YouTube. Tonight is a very, very special night, and that's because of the news cycle and the very, very special award that we have just been given. My main channel has now hit 146,000, and we finally got recognized for it. This, between myself, Dex, and all of the wonderful mods, put in hundreds and hundreds of hours to get. This beautiful award right here means everything to me, and it is an amazing testament to this channel. Dex, isn't that right?
Adam, it's such a huge deal. That plaque means everything. It means a lot. It's representative of what you've put in, I've put in, all the mods, the whole Foogle family. I mean, it's probably the most important thing in your studio.
It is. It is absolutely amazing. Hey. We'll be right back.
Oh no, he didn't.
Day is breaking. We're gonna start a fire. Worlds are waiting. Flames keep getting higher.
No YouTube plaques were harmed during the making of that intro. What is up, guys? We're trying it again. Some reason we've had an issue of getting knocked offline, but we're back. I am Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News, the only live call-in show on YouTube. Okay, not really. I am here with Dex, which we'll introduce here in a second, and if you've never been here before, this is a live call-in show. So we were actually going to go over through today and yesterday's news. Anything that's hot will actually be popped up during the show. If there's breaking news, you will hear it here over the next 2.5 hours. Now, we're going to go through the news, then we're going to get to the phones, and of course, we are going to be able to show you anything and everything that the callers end up bringing in. Now, the phone number to call is 2244-00-MARF, and you can call that at any point right now if you would like to get featured on the show. What I suggest is that you actually call once you have an article or something that you want to call in about. Now, there's a lot of big things going on. Of course, the show, or the thumb is this is big. And that is because it is going to be one hell of a ride in the next few months. We've got a lot of weird things going on right now, so I'm going to talk to Dex about this, which, by the way, so when you call in, you can actually talk to Dex live. I've got an entire screen over to my left, which can actually load up anything that callers may want to show us. If a caller has an article or a video they want to show us, they can do so, and I can actually show you live, and he can give me the links, all that, before they even get through. So it's pretty awesome that way. We're going to talk about 2 B-52 bombers flying around. Obviously, we covered that every time that happens because it is definitely some weird things going on here. Texas becomes UFO hotspot with hundreds of sightings. U.S. official says that the Pensacola bang bang suspect was a Saudi student. Some really weird stuff about that. That is a huge story. The FBI are hunting for him. And then, of course, we have the base bang banger that's going on. And then, of course, motion sensing robots and all sorts of stuff. So we're going to give you the lowdown on it right now. First, I just want to do a sound check on Dex and make sure that you are here. Dex, are you there?
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle Fam.
Okay, so, and then Dex, obviously the news cycle right now is full of little tidbits and little Easter eggs, and we're seeing a lot of weird things kind of connecting right now. What would you have to say about the last 2 days of news?
Well, you know, the hot story that is really on everybody's radar right now, the weekend, is what happened in Pensacola. We'll be covering. It's really insightful, I guess, as to how this event played out and if it really is what we think it is. And it sort of looks like that really is what we think it is. So, yeah, there's lots of different things going on. Things are usually slow. This is sort of the big deal, and things are still active. Activities going on right now across the state of people trying to identify and find potential suspects. So we need to understand what's happening there right now.
All right, and then Dex, I'm glad we did a sound check. You're a little bit choppy, so I'm going to try to fix that while we end up covering some of this news. Again, this is a live show. It is now 9:31 p.m. On the 7th of December. And I also want to recognize that there's, a lot of you out there in the chat already. Somebody said it was a T attack. Yes, we definitely agree on that. We're going to talk about that here in a second. I want to welcome some new subscribers. Reign with Christ, Glory Walker, 1980 Bullocks. I guess that's when he was born. Jan Brubaker, Cap Miner, Megan R, Daniel Rodarte. I thought it said Daniel Radcliffe. I'm like, Harry Potter watches? Jam BS. Dio Blaz, Gloria Casas, Jamal Johnson, Matt Panasuk, Linda DeBose, and Jeff, Mutant Iguana, Lou Babes, and Shanna X's. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, as always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a live shout out. And even if you do it between then, you might get a shout out on the next show. Okay. Like Susan Tilley. Susan Tully ended up just subscribing, and Melissa Johnson, thank you for that. Says, congratulations, Marf. I seriously, on a real note, this award, I will be putting this back there. Some of you are like, but wait, you're not at 100,000 subscribers yet. The other channel, if you've not seen it, is Marfoogle News. This is the, it looks backwards and stuff, but it's pretty freaking sweet. Pretty freaking sweet. I've waited a long time. I did tell you guys that I waited to do that. I was actually afraid of doing it. I had a friend who has a channel, and they basically requested their plaque, and then all of a sudden their just channel went boosh. So I think that they were kind of going. I don't know what they were doing. The thing is though, I think that they've seen our channel. They actually ended up reviewing it. And they found we are very careful about what we talk about. We're not biased either way. I think they do look at audiences as well. Obviously, a lot of our audience goes a certain direction, but that's not our fault or our doing. The things we talk about kind of bring in people like myself. So that's how it kind of goes. But as far as a news show, we are trying to put out information without putting our spin on it. Now, if I have an opinion that I think about as far as safety goes, that is one thing that I don't restrict myself on, especially about Cascadia Subduction Zone. Some of the ones that we know, there's no argument about, and I don't think that they look down on us for that. Again, I do say some words differently. You'll see when I read these articles. And again, we have marfooglenews.com. So if you miss anything, or if you want to read along with us, you can actually go to marfooglenews.com, and you can look at this thumbnail. And when you click on that on our website, which is going to pop up here right now, you will see that down below we have linked every single article that we have featured. It says show topics, weird news, and then when we have callers, this is actually going to change live. You are actually going to be able to see that being added as the calls come in. You could end up on our website. Your channel could end up on the website. It doesn't, whoever ends up getting through on the phone systems will be put through there. So that's really, really amazing. Again, we spend a lot of time doing this beforehand, so make sure to utilize that. Now, this is 2 U.S. B-52 boomers fly over East China Sea. Now, we've covered stories like this before, and it's no different. But again, there are new tensions that are rising out of this. It says, the B-52 Stratofortress is an American strategic boomer designed and built by Boeing and operated by the U.S. Air Force since the 1950s. According to the reports, the boomers passed the Miyako Strait, a waterway between Japan's Miyako Island and Okinawa Island, before flying over parts of the East China Sea near Taiwan's coastal waters and areas claimed by China. Now, we've seen before when we fly over China, they basically, scream at us. They do the radios. They say, this is, our water. Get the hell out of here. So this is kind of a little thing here. It says the B-52s activated their automatic dependent surveillance broadcast systems to make their presence and flight route known, Asia Times reported. It says, however, despite the reports, Taiwan's defense ministry has not provided any confirmation of whether the U.S. warplanes flew over parts of the East China Sea. So it says, in March, two B-52H Stratofortress's bombers flew over the East China Sea for an integration training mission by the U.S. Navy and Japan Air Self-Defense Force. 1 month later, the B-52s reportedly flew around 250 kilometers of the coastline of Guangdong, a province of southeast China, and circled above the Pratas Island controlled by Taiwan before heading back to Guam. Now, that was when all of that drama was going through and happening. As far as this goes, this is kind of a fire thing, and I always wonder to myself, if we know about the two, what are happening? What is happening that we don't know about? I know that they're doing a lot of operations right now. I know that they're doing a lot of joint drills and a lot of things that are kind of under the radar. No pun intended. So we will watch this and we'll be checking in with this as well. If you want to read the rest of this article, you can go to marfooglenews.com. All right, and then 1 billion surveillance cameras will be watching around the world in 2021, a new study says. Now, that's kind of a crazy number considering how many you see around, and that's insane. It says 1 billion surveillance cameras will be watching around the world in 2021, and more than half of those cameras will be in China. Those reports comes as experts warn about the potential risks of such surveillance technology, including potential access to data by the Chinese governments. The Americas are next in line, accounting for 18% of all installed surveillance cameras, and Asia, excluding China, accounted for the 15% of the report said. It says surveillance cameras are mounted on a post as the Hangzhou Hikvision Digital Technology Co. logo is displayed atop the company's headquarters in Hangzhou, China. On Tuesday, May 28th, 2019, Hikvision, which is controlled by the Chinese government, is one of the leaders in the market for surveillance technology. It says 1 billion surveillance cameras will be watching around the world as soon as a year and a half from now, and more than half of those cameras will be there. It says that there are an estimated 770 million surveillance cameras installed around the world today, and 54% of those cameras are in China, according to a pared-down version of the report. China is home to the world's largest makers of video surveillance products, such as Hikvision, Huawei, and Dehua. China's next push to export surveillance camera technology, including to liberal democracies, has raised concerns over the risk of data being funneled back to Beijing and growing influence to the Communist Party. Now, here's the thing. They are actually building. These are the manufacturer guys. So, we're talking about they are building it. They could build a back door in these things, and actually most of these are now wireless. That's the craze now. What do you think about this, Dex, coming from your tech background?
The cameras we have in America that are built by Dogwu and others, just about all of them are coming from China. They all have some sort of backdoor to them. It's been publicized before. It's been documented before. They're not very safe, and if you're running them, you should have them on a private network where they don't have access to the internet. Otherwise, they can be infiltrated. These things are all over the place. They continue to proliferate. Not only do we put them in our homes and we put them in our businesses, but we see the municipalities putting them on street post signs and traffic camera lights and things like that, not just to get a speeding ticket, but to monitor everything.
Well,
it's growing every day. I see new ones.
Now, can I ask you a quick question? Since you were high up in several companies tech-wise, at some of these big companies, did they have a lot of cameras on their site? Like the ones for the corporate guys, for you guys, did they videotape you, or was that kind of the exception?
Certainly, I would think has. They're usually covered entrances and exits and standard security protocols. They don't necessarily have them on top of every person, but that's not unheard of in other companies.
Okay, I'm gonna try one more thing too, Dex. 1 second. I'm gonna bring Dex back here in a second because I want to fix this. I'm gonna try. We have multiple networks here. I've got a dual system set up. Again, most of it's to make it a solid and secure thing. If one goes down, the other one isn't. Dex, can you hear me?
Yes, Adam, I can hear you. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, it's a little bit better. I don't know why the second one, which is on the whole other side of the house, is the better one. That's funny. Okay, well, so basically, here's the thing I thought of, though, too, is like, you know, the corporate bigwigs. It's like, you know, I've heard that Google has them even hidden places at their headquarters, and I just thought that was creepy. Not in the bathrooms or anything like that, but just, you know, weird places like hidden as other things. And I'm thinking, what would you steal from there? I guess you could steal information, but that would require you to actually, you know, get in and go on their computers and stuff like that. Seems like it's a growing thing that they're just everywhere.
They're cheap. They're cheap. They're easy to install. They go wireless or that you can pretty much put them anywhere. The more inexpensive each camera gets, the easier it is to put more of them and cover more areas. And it's no longer a cost prohibitive thing.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Well, so what do you guys think about it? Give us a call at 224-400-MARF. I would love to hear your opinion on how many cameras are around now, especially. They said something like 3 or 4 years ago that you were on camera an average of 170 times a day or something like that. I'm sure that's gone up. In fact, I don't think you ever are really off camera unless you are in your house. So pretty wild. Let's see. Let's go to the next story here. Again, if you want to read the rest of that, you can go to marfooglenews.com. U.S. flu season arrives early, driven by an unexpected virus. Now, I wonder how many of you, listen to these kind of things. It's just kind of funny. It says, the U.S. winter flu season is off to its earliest start in more than 15 years. An early barrage of illness in the South has begun to spread more broadly, and there's a decent chance flu season could pick up much earlier than normal, health officials say. It says the last flu season to rev up this early was in 2003 and 2004, and it was a bad one. Some experts think that an early start may mean a lot of suffering is in store, but others says it's too early to tell. Quote out of here is, it really depends on what the viruses are circulating. There's not a predictable trend as far as it's early going to be more severe or later less severe, said Scott Epperson, who tracks flu-like illnesses for the CDC. Now, I see one thing, you know, with these viruses, Dex, is like, it seems to me like, yeah, I won't even know anybody with the flu, but they'll say that everybody has it. Now, some years really are, everybody you know has gotten sick, but it seems like it's almost like, you know, somebody's actually like putting it out there. I know I'm not saying that that's what they do. I'm just saying it's just weird sometimes.
Yeah, it is, and we, you know, it's they're saying here that it started off. I'm in the South. I haven't really seen a lot of folks near me that have gotten sick or heard a lot about it.
And
symptoms going through the students. So that was kind of an interesting story. But I don't do the flu shot. I know, you know, that a lot of times these stories are all about trying to encourage people to go do that, especially elderly and children. So
somebody says, geez, I didn't see whose name. It said, somebody said it's coming from space. I don't know if they're talking about the flu coming from space, but you know, who knows? If you want to read the rest of this, I would definitely go to the website. One of the other quotes in here, it says, it's definitely causing symptoms that will put you in bed for a week, including fever, vomiting, and diarrhea. But the hospital has not had any deaths and has not seen many serious complications, he said. Now, that's the thing. We are waiting. We're literally sitting around our entire lives waiting for another kind of plague-like, you know, thing to happen. You know, people say that to talk about that kind of stuff is fear porn. There is something to be said. I think overall, people need to spread, I guess, good habits of washing their hands and covering their mouth and things like this. It's like, it's common sense stuff that, we get each other sick all the time, but it's just stupid because there's so many people that are just doing simple things. Like, how many times have you been in a public bathroom where you see somebody go into the bathroom and walk straight out and not use the sink and wash your hands? Or if they wash their hands, they do all that, they wash their hands, and then they grab the handle on the way out. That's just like, I always grab a paper towel or something to grab the handle, and then I find the nearest garbage can and throw that piece of paper away, because what's the point of washing your hand if you're just going to touch the thing that, 5,000 people have walked through that day? It's just common sense things like that. I just don't, I don't understand why people don't do that. If you're that guy that doesn't wash his hands, just keep it to yourself. And you probably already do. A lot of them, and the ones that aren't embarrassed about it though, that just kind of do it proudly. I'm just, ugh. Texas becomes UFO hotspot with hundreds of sightings, including snake-like objects. We've been covering this for 6 or 7 months with the snake-like objects, and they keep popping up. It says the U.S. state of Texas has become a hotspot for UFO sightings with, quote, hundreds seen this year alone, a researcher has claimed. Daily Star Online recently revealed how residents in the deep south state of Dallas witnessed the infamous snake-like UFO in the skies. But in an exclusive chat with the site, the investigator who shared the pictures has said such a sighting is just the tip of the iceberg. Jane Kyle, 34, runs UFO site TexasUFOsightings.com and WeirdUFOshow.com. Sometimes I read these and I find out these new websites that come out, and I'm like, that's actually, you would never hear this if it wasn't for this. When asked by Daily Star Online how many UFOs are seen each year, she said, quote, I have been meaning to get an exact statistical count, but I don't know the exact number. She says, I know there's a regular trickle every single week. They are seen every week. Jane said that it is not always a regular flow of sightings. That's funny. That's so funny that the quote before that is, they're seen every week. So definitely sightings are in the hundreds every year, and sometimes they're even seen every day. And then in the same note, Jane said, there's not always a regular flow of sightings. Well, I would say once a week, even if it was just once a week, that's a regular flow. You'll have a really busy summer where some people are seeing a specific type of UFO, like a triangle. Now, that's another thing. Why is it always a certain type, and now it's the snake-like UFO, and everybody is saying it? Is it because somebody, at certain points in the past, there's actually been hoaxes where somebody figured out how to do a clever thing in the sky, and then a bunch of people kind of copycatted that before they realized what this thing they were doing was. Is this some sort of drone pulling a kite or something? You don't even know anymore. As far as this goes, which actually I didn't think about that, but if you had an actual powerful quadcopter and then made a funky kite, wouldn't that be an easy way to do that? Because those things are actually pretty powerful. I'm just I don't know. It says, she basically talks about how it's not all the time, and then it is, and then you'll have these just huge bursts. Right now, it's all about these long pipe or dull metallic color snake-like UFOs that are happening. Now, do we have a picture here? I think I can just actually go to the original. So let's see here. And the reason
we had the ones in the article.
So, and the reason why we're covering this is we keep hearing about this. It's the same thing. All out of nowhere. And once you see this, you'll kind of understand why. Oh, let's see. Don't want to do that. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Let me see if I can at least get the freaking picture. Here we go. Yeah, let's do the picture. It's going to slow us down. I know it. So this is what they're talking about. That looks to me like a balloon, and who knows? It could be a balloon, But I guess the thing is the size of it. It's like huge. And the ones at night light up. Why would a UFO pick that as their way to get around the universe? I mean, I don't get it. I mean, sure, scientifically, is there a, positive side of having a giant, phallic spaceship? I don't get it. If you have an idea, or if you've ever seen one, or if you've even seen UFOs in general, give us a call at 224-400-MARF, and I would love to see pictures or video if you have them. Especially like the one, the last night's, or actually, no, sorry, Thursday's night's show. That gentleman had a good sighting of that meteor. That was great. It says, with China gunning for aircraft carriers, U.S. Navy says it must change how it fights. Just because China might be able to hit U.S. Navy aircraft carriers with long-range anti-ship missiles doesn't mean carriers are worthless, the service top officer said Thursday. It says the chorus of doom and gloom over China's anti-access weapons is too simplistic, Chief of Naval Operations Admiral Michael Gilday said, but that doesn't mean that the Navy should refrain from adjusting the way it fights. Sorry, I've got to repeat things I mess up on. It's kind of an OCD thing. Let's look at this like a physics problem, Gilday proposed. Hypersonics go really fast and they travel at long ranges. Carriers can only travel X distance, so carriers are going to have to go away. That's a very simplistic way to look at the problem. I've been in 2 big war games since I've been, and I absolutely believe that we have to wring out more of what we have today in terms of how we are going to fight with it. So, Dex, one thing I don't get about that is the carriers aren't so much for attacking, they're for just holding the planes, and then the planes fly farther away. But I guess, if those planes are somehow, I guess, going to be landing on something that's just vulnerable, then that's kind of stupid. It says the U.S. Navy is on the brink of an explosion in research and development funding for its next-generation fighter program, an effort that could make or break the mainstay of the fleet's powerful strike arm. Let's see. So one thing about this is that technology is changing, and we're going to have to change the way that we build our fleets. If we want to stay on top, we actually have to come up with new ways to fight these conflicts. At least that's what this is trying to say.
Adam, didn't we just hear that they said that able to work against our radar? It's like
hold on, Dex. Dex, this is really frustrating. We've never had this problem, and I don't know why. It's just cutting out constantly. So I'm going to try one last thing here. That's what I'm going to do. Let's see. Boom. Okay, because I want you to be able to input, and it just keeps cutting out. I don't know why. So let's see here. Bam, bam. Okay, Dex, now try saying what you were saying about what they just told us. When it comes in. Hold on.
Okay, can you hear me, Adam?
Yeah, now we're good. You should be good now. I turned on my mobile hotspot.
Great.
So go ahead.
Okay, great. So what I'm saying is we recently talked about there's a constant, cat and mouse sort of fight here between us and China technology. We recently heard that they were able to improve some of their technology with their missile systems, right? So we talked about that with the radar. So, how these new advancements that they make obviously is going to change how we have to defend ourselves and how the Navy's going to have to defend themselves, because that's our biggest force right now. And that's why, when they come up with arm us, we have to change tactics. We have to change strategy. And that's the one thing they're gunning for, especially with the South China Sea, right? It's our Navy and what they can do against us.
Yeah, yeah. There's just so much going on with those, and then they grabbed up all these old carriers that were about to be retired, and they said we're going to keep them, which just all these weird things where it doesn't make any sense. Now, somebody just said in the chat that Discord has been crashing today. That would actually probably explain it, Dex, why you're cutting, because I've tried 3 networks and you're still a little bit choppy. So, but we got the point across. Let's see here. Jeremy Martis says, LOL, good luck. Dakota Dad says, more than meets the eye with the Pensacola situation. Hillary C. fast-tracked Saudi nationals able to bypass U.S. customs and remained unmonitored. Paul Sperry, Twitter for info. Many AWOL now as planned. So we're going to go over that here in a second. I think that's the most important story of the day. In fact, we've got some things happening right now that I think that we all need to have a contingency plan for us, our families, everything, especially in the United States. In Europe, they've had this stuff going on for a long time, and, don't think that we are not going to have the same stuff. Jeremy Martis says, hello, Marfoogle, love your channel, keep up the good work, and says, the truth bearer, Marfoogle, the real oogle of true information, not the false Google. This is Jeremy from El Mirage. I am a security guard at the rock quarry working graveyard shift, and I see all types of shooting stars. That's awesome, Jeremy. I appreciate you watching, and, break out your phone, take some photos of it. That's awesome. Susan Tully, thank you, and welcome. Thank you for subscribing. All right, and then Sammy Lee, what is up? Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And I guess nothing, you can't say something on that one. That one's not. All right. This is really weird. A motion-sensing robot launches to assist space station astronauts. In fact, I saw a really good video. I think it was by Beyond Theory on this. It says, an intelligent robot equipped with a motion-sensing voice detectors was headed to the International Space Station after launching from Florida on Thursday, becoming the latest artificial intelligence-powered astronaut workmate in orbit. The Crew Interactive Mobile Companion 2, or Simon 2, is a spherical droid with microphones, cameras, and a slew of software to enable emotion recognition. Yeah, that's right, emotion. The droid was among 5,700 pounds of supplies and experiments aboard SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, whose midday launch had been delayed from Wednesdays due to high winds. The overall goal is to create a true companion. The relationship between an astronaut and Simon is really important. It says Mathis Biniak, the lead arts director for Simon 2, told Reuters, it's trying to understand if the astronaut is sad, is he angry, is he joyful, and so on. And guess what this is based on? It was based on algorithms built by information technology giant IBM Corporation. And data from Simon 1, it says a nearly identical prototype that launched in 2018. Simon 2 will be more sociable with crew members, and it will test technologies that could prove crucial for future crewed missions in deep space, where long-term isolation and communication lags to Earth pose risks to astronaut mental health. So, if it's even true that we would be on a trip like that, 2 years in space or something like that, they say that specifically in space that people go crazy because it's just, that would just be a scary thing. Imagine floating off by yourself in space. So they say having a companion or somebody to talk to is how to not be crazy. So making one of these things. But I'm sure, because this one you put in here, I bet you picked this out because of, we're talking about facial recognition. Well, what about emotion recognition? This is how the API actually judges my thumbnails. Is that what you were thinking, Dex?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The fact that we're all across the spectrum, space to identify thinking, how you're reacting, what you're saying.
Dex, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you on the phone. let's do that. Or let's see if there's something else. We can't have you on this anymore because it's just not working. All right, let's see. Oh. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna call you real quick, Dex, and then we're gonna do this via phone. Are you able to do that? Let's see.
Yes.
Oh, can you call from our digital line with your computer? Wouldn't that work?
Yes. I'll just call the show line. I'll call you.
Okay, call the 2 number, okay? Okay, so we'll get Dex on here. I apologize. We've never actually, out of all the issues we've ever had, we've never had issues with the Discord or with the actual voice. That's crazy. Maybe they don't like what he's about to say. Let's see here. It is a live show, guys. Let's see. Okay. Guess this will work for now. All right, Dex. Dex, you there? All right. Here we go. Oh, something just happened. You there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're good. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Sounds better.
Can you hear me good?
Yes, you sound fine.
All right. You got a little bit of background noise, but that's okay. All right. Let's see here. U.S. official Pensacola booming suspect was Saudi student. Now, this is a big one. This is why because I wanted to talk to you about this, Dex. Hopefully we don't have any issues because this is a big deal. I found out about this later. I was not on Johnny on top of the spot on this one. But once we actually talked to a few of our sources, this is some scary stuff. It says U.S. law enforcement officials were digging into the background of the suspected Florida Naval Station Bang Bang Friday to determine that the Saudi Air Force's officer's motive and whether it was connected to T or ism. As questions swirled about the shooting, which left 4 people dead and multiple people wounded, officials identified the suspect as Second Lieutenant Saeed al-Shamarani, an aviation officer in the Saudi Air Force. The officials spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss an ongoing investigation. Al-Shamarani was attending an aviation school at the base, one of hundreds of international military members who were receiving training there. The shooter opened fire in a classroom building on Friday morning. Oh my gosh, do you realize we covered this before it happened? Dex, I know you probably don't even remember this, but do you remember when we thought it was totally crazy that we were training the people that were from a country that we ended up finding like 22 out of 24 of the people that were on the flight in that day in September 2001? Do you remember this? We covered this on the show specifically.
Yes. Yes.
I can't even hear you, man. This is really frustrating.
Yeah, can you hear me? Adam, I'm here.
Are you using your computer mic?
No, I'm using a regular mic. Let me just switch back to a regular phone. We keep going. If you can hear me, I just want to say, yeah, this is a very big deal. There's a lot of similarities to other events that have happened in the past, especially with the people that are coming from the specific country that you're talking about here. So yeah.
Well, we can hear you. I mean, it's okay. People can hear you just fine. It's just not. Yeah, it's fine. In fact, you made it sound better at the last end of it. Do you remember specifically though? We specifically talked about this, and it was crazy to me that they were training them how to fly. They were actually paying for and training these folks that were there how to fly. And then
Yeah, and we were reporting on them going AWOL.
that's right. And was it the same base that the guy shot?
I don't know if it's the exact same base. That I'd have to go back and look, but it wouldn't surprise me because I do remember it being in the South, and this base is in the panhandle of Florida. This particular base in Pensacola.
This show right here specifically talked about the Saudi pilots being trained and how many of them went AWOL. Is this not freaking insane? We called this. We called this out months and months ago, and now one of them has done exactly what we said. This is insanity. We called this before anybody else. Absolutely insane. It says the U.S. has long had a robust training program for Saudis, providing assistance in the U.S. and in the Kingdom, and the T-Man administration has sent several Patriot missile batters and hundreds of troops to SA this year in the wake of attacks on the Kingdom that officials blame on Ryan. Oh man, this has Fantastic Freddy wrote all over it. On Friday, President DT said he got a call from King Salman, who expressed, quote, his sincere condolences and sent sympathies to the families of those involved, which is really bad. It says the king said the Saudi people are greatly angered by the barbaric actions of the shooter, and says this person in no way, shape, or form represents the feelings of the Saudi people who love the American people, said T-Man in a tweet. The Bang Bang, however, shined a spotlight on what has been sometimes a rocky relationship with the kingdom. The U.S. earlier this year agreed to send 3 Patriot missile batteries, dozens of fighter jets, and other aircraft to Saudi Arabia. And in December, Defense Secretary Mark Esper visited Prince Sultan Air Force to see one of the batteries and talk about efforts to get allies to contribute to the defense of Saudi Arabia and the Gulf regions of counter threats from Ryan. Now, I believe, they actually bring up Khashoggi, which, remember, he got dismembered, all sorts of messed up stuff. And then we have, it says, base shooter watched shooting videos before the attack. This is crazy. It says the Saudi student who fatally shot 3 people at the U.S. Naval Base in Florida hosted a dinner party earlier the week where he had 3 others watched videos of mass blang blang. So is this saying that he had like people over at his house, or yeah, he hosted a dinner party and they're like, yeah, let's watch Las Vegas or something? That's just, yeah, that's disturbing.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, there's nothing more obviously premeditated here than the week of you coming out and you're actually hosting a party and watching this stuff. And that's part of the party, right? That's crazy.
I want to know who was at the party. They should be looking at those people too. Why didn't they say anything? I would call the cops. Officials investigating the deadly attack were working Saturday to determine whether it was motivated by T or ism, as both President DT and Defense Secretary Mark Esper indicated that they would review policies governing foreign military training in the United States. Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing. It wasn't just this guy. It was many. A bunch of them have gone AWOL. What was that statistic? It was like the only reason that these people were here, and they're from one of our, allied countries, right? The only reason they were here was to train, and half of them went missing from the programs that they got here under. It's like, where are they? They just disappeared, literally disappeared, and they continued this program. Family members on Saturday identified one of the victims as 23-year-old recent graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy who alerted first responders to where the shooter was even after he was shot several times. This is bad. That word, if I say it 10 times, the whole thing's going to just stop playing on this platform.
I just went back to the old article, and it was over 50% of the people in this one particular country from the ME region.
Can we pull that up?
Doing training, we're going AWOL.
Can we pull that?
Yes, I'll put
article
it in.
up? I want to
I'll put it
show
in the screener.
people exactly what we were talking about and what we talked about on a previous show months ago. When was that dated, Dex? Do you know?
May 2nd.
Okay, so I want to show you guys what we were talking about back in May. It is now December, and something bad has happened. In fact, I bet you we could go back to like May 1st or May 2nd, and we could show you a clip of that show. I mean, it was literally like just the most obvious thing ever, and I just couldn't believe it. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up. You guys are going to see what happened here. Let's see.
Okay, it's under the urgent look at this and call screener.
All right, got it.
Now, again, this study was they were looking at one particular country from the ME that's doing training. But as you see, we have multiple countries and lots of foreigners that come into our country and do training. In this particular case, in Pensacola, it was from SA. And in this one study, they were talking about people going AWOL. It was from another country. It begins with A. And so, but the 50% AWOL rate is huge. Like, where are these people going?
Exactly. And why, so this is the actual story right here. It says Afghan pilot training ends after almost half went AWOL in America. Now, it says that it was ending, but did it end? Or it looks like it's still right here.
Well, they may have ended it with that country, but SA was still going because.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. That was Afghan. Yeah, and we talked about SA. We talked about that, and we talked about the other country. There was 4 countries doing this, and all 4 could have been connected to September of 2001, and I was absolutely blown away by that. Let's see here. It says a program to train TAC pilots has been ended after the airmen kept going absent without leave or AWOL while training in the United States. More than 40% of the AF Air Force students enrolled in the U.S.-based training program to fly the AC-208 Combat Caravan, a light attack combat aircraft, went AWOL, according to the quarterly report by the special investigator. So then we later talked about, and we have the not only Saudi and not only AF, there was a third and a fourth country attached to this that we did a show on May 3rd, I believe. It was like the day after this or the day of that this came out. I mean, this is just absurd. We saw this coming. This is just the dumbest thing. Like, who came up with that? We're like, let's get these guys trained up how to fly after one of the worst T attacks we've ever had in history was related to that. And then this guy ends up going out and, popping people. It's just weird. I don't get the common sense of people. It says FBI hunt for, quote, missing Saudi servicemen after the Pensacola bang bang. It says the FBI is reportedly hunting for several Saudi students from Naval Station Pensacola after they vanished in the wake of Friday's mass bang bang at the base. So, wait a second. So the one is the guy who did it and a bunch disappeared?
There were people that recorded this, Adam. He had people recording the event. He had people that came and watched the movies or the filming that they showed beforehand where they were watching other bang bangs. Right. And so now they've rounded up probably like 10 people, but they're looking for more. And they know there are more that are missing, and they're trying to find them right now across Florida or across anywhere in America.
And this isn't just one state. This is just one location. These are all over. These are sleeper cells. This is exactly what we warned against. Do you remember what we said when we actually showed you the statistics? It was like 1 in 100. That was what country was that? The statistics of 1 in 100. Do you remember that? It wasn't. I thought it might have been Ryan related at that time. Yeah,
but it was obviously T related, and they were T related countries, and it was the amount of people coming in illegally, that a very high percentage or a very noticeable percentage of those people were potentially attached to sleepers.
And that's the thing. So there's very close ties with this. You know, we have these ties, right? We were actually friendly with this country, or, you know, we've got these relationships with this country. But this is the same country that actually dismembers people and cuts off their heads and does this kind of stuff. And then again, in the past, in 2001, let's see here. Let me show you something. This is going to... If for those of you who have not looked the plans, let's see. How? Let's see. Let's see. I can't say this. By the way, this is another reason when you're typing stuff like this into your search, this is another reason why you want a VPN so you don't get looked at. Do you ever wonder, when you're typing and going down rabbit holes, do you ever wonder if, you know, you're getting put on some sort of list because you're putting this stuff in? Let's see here. There was a list. There's an actual list. Let's see. Let's see here. 19 were citizens of Saudi Arabia. Out of how many was this? I think there was only like 22 or something. No. Okay, so it says 15 out of the 19 hijackers from September of 2001, the worst attack ever, were Saudi citizens. This is why I really find myself concerned that we are doing this kind of program. Again, like, what in the hell are we thinking? And of course, we actually instead went to, you know, Afghan and all these other places, and we said, oh, WMDs, oil. Who cares about that thing? That was just running a plane into a building. We just want to care about oil. Okay, sorry, I'm done.
Yeah. Well, Adam, not just the fact that they came from this country, or at least that's the narrative we've been told. If you go down this rabbit hole, which I'm not going to do at the moment, but there's this whole notion that if there was a Fantastic Freddy being set up, then it's obvious we've used this country to help us with Fantastic Freddy in the past, if you go down that rabbit hole, right? So there's a couple different ways you could look at this. Is it because, you know, people coming from this country, or is it because something's being created and this country's, you know, obviously a close ally with a lot of ties with us around money and gold, money and oil. So what's really going on here?
It kind of makes you wonder what they use this event for. What is going on? Like the lower end people don't know what's going on, and that's why they're like, we got to find these guys. When whoever's above them, they know exactly where they are. Probably already changed their identities by now. This is fishy. It says that
in New York just recently, and they attended the lighting of the Christmas tree at a big event like 2 weeks before or a week before, and then they came back and then he did this. And I say they because there were people that were complicit in it by filming the event as it was happening.
Now check this out. It says authorities have not revealed the number of Saudi students they are still looking for, and it's unclear why they have not come forward to police. What in the world is this? This is the weirdest thing. Do you guys all agree that this is like super, super weird? Are we preparing? I mean, is this signs? Do you guys see the what is here? I think a lot of you are so smart. The people in my audience are the most amazing people in the world, but I think you guys are also, I think what attracts to this channel is, you know, a lot of people that have gone down these same holes. We cover so many different things, and you guys kind of get a feel of it, and I'm sure you guys often your off time have done this. One thing I will say, you know, the new thing about AJ is that he's like a shill and all this stuff. But it's kind of sad because AJ woke up a lot of us with those original videos, Loose Change and all those kind of things. In fact, most of us are here because of that event. Because of September in 2001, that's why I got interested that's why I'm obsessed with this kind of stuff. I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that gentleman, Mr. A. Jones. His documentaries that was bluegrass, like literally passed out on blank DVDs by people downtown Seattle. Back in 2002, 2003, that was when I woke up. You know, I hear some of these kids on the internet saying I woke up a couple of years ago, and I'm just like, you have no idea. Like, I've been looking into this stuff for, you know, some of you guys have been looking into it for decades, but I've been looking into it for 15, 16 years. Ever since I saw some of that and none of it clicked together, this looks like the preparation of something. It says it follows chilling new details emerging in the wake of Friday morning's Bang Bang, including news that 3 Saudi servicemen joined Al Shamrani for a dinner party the night before the attack, where they watched videos of the Bang Bangs. Who's the person that told them that? Like, was there some white guy named Steve invited along, and they're like, yeah, this is an interesting choice for videos for dinner. I'm not really hungry, actually. I'll just pass that off. Yeah. Who told them this? How do they know that? What is the one person that was there that they do have that said, oh yeah, we were watching it on YouTube at the house like it was a boxing match? It says, meanwhile, the New York Times reports that Al Shamrani and the 3 other students traveled from Pensacola to New York From Pensacola to New York last week, where they visited several museums and are thought to watch the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree lighting ceremony. I'm going to put this up on screen. I just want you guys to translate this. Meanwhile, the New York Times reports that Al Shamrani and the 3 other students traveled from Pensacola to New York last week, where they visited several museums and are thought to have watched the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree lighting ceremony.
That was a crowded place.
Well, you know, the one thing is somebody would say, oh, they didn't do anything there, right? Were they casing? Are there more than just these 3? Is this just one location out of many across the United States? Is 2020 going to be some sort of giant year? I mean, like, this gives me the chills, like, legitimately. We do this show, and then some of the things that we go over and say gives me chills. Something is putting together.
Well, and Adam,
here.
Yeah, it is. And we said earlier about sleepers. You know, we talked about sleepers just coming across the border, but this is another example of a sleeper sitting in position that we've actually invited, we've actually documented, we've actually
that we're training,
and we know that are sitting here, and we're training them. I mean, that's just crazy.
I think this is.
I can't imagine this.
This is big. This is much bigger than what they're saying. I don't know if I think you guys get it. Somebody said I would stay out of those museums. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was not only yeah. Like, or, and then sometimes you see them, they know that they're going to not be on this earth after their event. But if only 3 or 4 people got hurt during this isn't the big thing. This isn't the big show. This is a little tiny thing. One thing I don't get is, how did they... You don't have 4 people involved in this kind of thing, and then only 3 people or 4 people get hurt. This is like a sign. This is like a blatant sign, like something else is going to happen. Like they want us to know about this. Why would they do this dinner party? How do we know about this dinner party? Do you know what I mean, Dex? Like, why do we know this specific information? Who told them?
It's digital.
Who told them?
We could have been watching it. Right? It's digital. We could have seen it and known about it, and just didn't realize that it meant something until after the fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're watching it online. They're probably being tracked.
But it makes me wonder, what kind of information do they want us to do? Are they keying off other people? Was this like a trigger for other sleeper cells? Like, are they doing this on purpose? It just doesn't seem to me like 4 people would do this big, intricate thing. They watched videos of it but the night before. Why would then they fail so miserably? I mean, this isn't a failure in any means. 3 people or 4 people lost their life. How many total? Was it 3 people?
Well, I read in 2 different articles. One said 3, one said 4. I'm certain that there's 3 or 4 that were injured and 3 that at least were unfortunately deceased.
All right. Well, so we're going to be following this. We want you guys to work and connect this. Look down these roads. Again, hit me on Twitter with facts and stuff that you guys find. I'd love for you to do that. Go to @Marfoogle. If you're not on Twitter yet, make an account. That's a really easy way. And I've never thought of why people liked Twitter, but you guys link articles to me through that. It's really easy to see, and so many people are coming up with so many different connections. Again.
Well, and we got to think about the big events that are coming forward. We've got the holiday season. We've got
Christmas.
New Year's Eve. Yeah. Christmas, New York, New Year's, big time.
The ball, dropping the ball.
Mm-hmm.
2020. This is a big year. 2020. This is, if they were going for any kind of symbology, 2020. Think about that. Think about the symbology of the 2020. That is absolutely, this is nuts. Dex, I know that we are going to end up looking at this. I would like also to reach out to the military group. I want to see if we can pry anything out of, see if there's anything that we should know or they think that we should know. If we can do that.
Yeah, we'll definitely look there. I think the one thing that's on the immediate horizon is looking at the suspects that they're trying to round up. Obviously, they know who they're looking for, or they wouldn't say that they're looking for more. And we got to see what comes of that. And then we need to have our heads on a swivel at large events and at places and locations and make sure that we know what's going on around us.
I really wonder if this was on an accident. Why did this happen? Did they start it on purpose? How did, it's just weird. All right. Speaking of Christmas, shocked, electric eel powers aquarium's Christmas lights. If you want to check this story out, again, this actually has a pretty crazy picture with it. The electric eel was actually lighting this, the power from this tank was lighting this whole Christmas tree, which is just nuts. Nature is so nuts. Just so many weird things. And I'm like, how do people not believe in some of this other stuff that goes on? British teacher Audrey Showman lives after her heart stops for 6 hours. That's a miracle. That's like that should be a proof of God, not whatever this is. Audrey Showman with a member of medical team who saved her life after she suffered hypothermia-induced cardiac arrest. So Frozen, a British teacher in Spain whose heart had stopped beating for more than 6 hours, was revived in a case that doctors said was exceptional in the world. It says Audrey Showman was brought back to life after suffering cardiac arrest induced by hypothermia on November 3rd when she was caught in a Pyrenees snowstorm with her husband. Okay, this is God telling her she's still needed. Sorry, that's nothing else. There was no technology used. When I first saw the headline, I thought, oh, they used some sort of new heart device to start it back up, all that. No. There's no cases like this. That's a miracle. Stupid people. Banana duct taped to a wall by Maurizio Catalan, or is that how you say it? Catalan sells for $120,000 at an Art Basel. Stupidest thing I've ever heard. These are the elites. They buy a duct taped banana to a wall. Arguably one of the most talked about works of art this year's Art Basel was a banana duct taped to a wall that sold for $120,000. One art lover said, "It's mocking the art world. That's what Maurizio Catalan does." The effing thing isn't going to last more than a week. I'll just show you a picture so you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is so stupid. Like, we're not joking here. He literally duct taped a freaking banana to a wall. So dumb.
Duct tape 2 bananas to a wall. 2 bananas will beat 1 banana.
Yeah, well, how about them apples?
I hope the buyer actually ate the banana.
I hope he got his money's worth. Yeah, he's definitely that's definitely hard to swallow. Either way, with everything that's going on, we're gonna be talking and reaching out to a lot of people. We are trying to expand. We're trying to get bigger. If you guys really want to end up helping us, you can end up helping us by supporting one of our affiliates. These are companies that we actually believe in. Again, when you are looking this kind of stuff, going down these rabbit holes, I highly suggest NordVPN. The reason why is because you can actually put off, but I'll leave it to Dex. Dex is actually, if you don't know his history or you haven't gone over to his channel and seen his background, he was extremely high up in multiple tech companies, and he knows exactly what he's talking about when it comes to this. Dex?
Yeah, Adam, it's really simple and easy to use. And the most important thing you need to understand is it's not a geek tool. Geeks were using it for a long time, but everyone should use it. My mom should use it. It's very simple. You turn it on. It protects you from people that are trying to find you and infiltrate your network at home. It protects you when you're on other networks so that people can't sniff and read all of the information you're doing on the internet. So having this encrypted connection with a VPN really makes a big difference in your security when you're online. And everything that we're tracking, everything that we're looking, everything that we spend time researching on, we're very vulnerable, very susceptible to these types of attacks. So having a tool like this is absolutely paramount.
Not only that, you can use it on multiple devices, and you can use it in public Wi-Fi spaces. There are now people, and people don't think about this, there are literal real human beings, pieces of crap, that sit at Starbucks and they sit there with their laptops and they're actually fishing for credit card numbers for, different things. And they're actually there to essentially wait until you get on their public Wi-Fi. It's pretty dumb, but that's exactly what they're doing. And it's like, shooting fish in a barrel. 10 people an hour walk in and use the free Wi-Fi and don't encrypt, it's really dumb. They are offering up to 84%, which is huge, discount for the Marfoogle family on their best plan. So make sure to head over there and check it out, and it helps us. We're very transparent about anything we sell. We've never sold anything we don't like and don't believe will genuinely help you. And we're very transparent about the fact that we are trying to grow. Financially, we do need to actually get more things done. And coming in about 3 days, all of the terms of service switch over. We don't know if we're going to have to get a lawyer. We don't know if we'll disappear off the internet. Again, there is an actual fund we are putting aside for that exact thing. So if you guys want to help and, protect yourself, this is a really, really good idea. Otherwise, EMP shield. I will personally attest to this. We have been talking to experts right now. Like, this is actually grown as one of the things I am most concerned about as far as this. Once you actually see the list of people that we're talking to, and once you hear it from them, here's the thing. One thing I've noticed is more and more people, they have to wait until they hear it from, some super, or hear it from the president themselves. In fact, the president signed a bill. The actual Homeland Security put out a warning about this whole entire thing. And it's like, that's what people need. Once you see the people that we're going to have on the show talk about EMP and the threat that it really is, you'll realize that there's a lot of people actually trying to stop this from being protected. I've noticed a lot of kind of mainstream, the national interest. I just saw them do a hit piece and says EMP, the fake this or the fake that. The EMP is one of our biggest fear, and that is why the entire country is trying to emergency harden their grid. There are real threats of this, so don't joke around with this. We believe this will end up saving lives. The company, not only is it not made in China, it's made in Kansas by hand, and this company is actually contracted not only with the government. They just announced they are doing and helping with the Texas grid, DEMSO. They're actually part of the official the DEMSO team. So that's the new protection, abbreviation for that thing. Again, go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. Cannot stress enough. I just sent out emails today to a few people talking about their EMP devices. More and more, I am so glad that I am actually, this is one of the products that I got to be able to help with, because this is going to save lives, in my opinion. So again, go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. You can get one for your car. If your car doesn't work after an EMP or a coronal mass ejection, which, I always forget to say, this works against solar flares. This works against coronal mass ejection. It was military tested, or military standard from Keystone. So this thing's huge. You can get it for your car, your motorcycle, your water boat, your solar, your ham radio, and your house. So there's one for everything. You can't put your whole house in a freaking Faraday cage, but you can do this. Anything hooked up to it will be protected. All right, and then, as always, nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect mine, Dex's, or anybody who helps the show, such as the wonderful mods. So make sure, views are theirs. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. That is exactly why it is important that we all talk about these things and we get it through. If you have not subscribed to Marfoogle News, the main channel, which, of course, is Marfoogle News, you can actually share marfoogle.news or marfoogle.tv if you want to share either one of the channels. And then if your friend or brother or somebody else puts that in their browser, it will immediately take them to a screen that basically grays everything out and it says subscribe. So that's a good way to share it. And then again, we are less than 5,000 away. We're actually about 4,200 subscribers away from hitting this mark on this channel. So make sure to go hard, folks. If you're a Foogle family member and you really love the show, get the word out however you can. We are much appreciated. Get people in the Discord too. Make sure to let them know about the groups that prepare. Again, that is one of the main purposes outside this show. Creators Corner, we've got 3 days until those new terms kick in. We have no idea what's going to happen. Get in the Creators Corner. If you have a channel with more than 100 subs and 20 plus videos, get in there. Go to marfooglenews.com. And make sure to check out everything that's there. Sign up for the alerts. That's another thing. If we have warning of something, we're going to let you know through that. And then ground therapy. Again, this is essentially earthing. People have done it for decades. I mean, to be honest, I didn't believe it until I used it. In fact, I knew nothing about it, and my trained brain, from years and years and years of thinking that, this medicine for that, this medicine for this medicine for that, I didn't think it would work. And it honestly has changed my entire show, actually. I used to do this show at 2 a.m. because of my sleep issues. I no longer have sleep issues. If you go back to my earliest videos, I had huge circles under my eyes because I was up all night. That was partly because of my digestive system and all of my health problems. I've got serious health issues that I don't even talk about. I never, I feel like it would use it to get people on my side. Both have gotten better since I started grounding. And for the people that already do this, you already know. This is the kind of thing once you do, all you do is put that mat on your bed and sleep on it. It's pretty easy. You get like 8 hours or however long you get to sleep. You get that earthing the whole time. It's great. Once you do it and once you see how it works, then you're going to be that annoying family member that says, you got to do it. You got to put one of these on your bed. But that's a good thing because it helps the channel and it helps you. And I really do believe in this 100%. You can see the earthing movie. It talks about the 25 plus medical studies where this is proven to help. That is over at marfooglenews.com/earthing. Again, that's marfooglenews.com/earthing. You can get free shipping with the code MH. The movie has Amy Smart, Muriel Hemingway, and Deepak Chopra, all good friends of Clint Ober. And then if you want to support a charity, we are actually, all of our shirts, the Marfia shirts, are going towards Cars for Heroes. Not 10%, 50%, 100% is going to Cars for Heroes. So we're helping veterans that do not have proper transportation with this round. So please make sure to go over and check them out. And you're spreading the good word. Make sure if somebody says, what is the Marfia? You tell them hardcore. This is a love mob of people that are preparing for what comes next. All right. Now that that's done, we're going to get our first calls going. I really appreciate all of you sticking around. And let's see here. Boom, boom. Still over 3,100 people. Thank you guys for sticking through that. We are trying to be independent and not, be dependent on certain things, especially the platform. So thank you guys for all the support. Thank you for putting up. It's a 3-hour show, but we do about 2 minutes of advertising. I really appreciate you guys that you put up with that. All right, let's see here. All right, Dex, I'm going to have to get... Let's see here. We're going to have to get Dex back on... Dex, are you there? Let's get back over to Discord.
Yeah, I'm on Discord now. I don't know if you can hear me, but I switched back because I had to screen calls.
Okay, yeah, because I just got calls through on the system, so I don't know if it's switched over yet.
Yeah, that's the first caller.
Oh, okay, perfect. Red Pill Rob. Red Pill Rob, you are live on Marfoogle TV. What is going on?
Hey, Marf, Dex, everybody, Marfoogle family. I just want to talk about the whole facial recognition. Fred Meyer's, Target, Walmart, everybody's got the gates now that you walk through, but there's no cameras yet. But when you walk through them, it's a soft disclosure like, hey, get used to it. Next thing you know, there's going to be a camera, just like the gas station you guys went through. We have a Jackson gas station coming up here on 320th and Pack Highway. Same thing. They're a brand new gas station. It's all going to be the new thing where you walk in, you have to wait, and all the crime in Federal Way, where I live, all the doors are locked from about 2 o'clock in the morning till about 4:30 in the morning. You have to be buzzed in. You have to look up. They look for you. Is it soft disclosure? Is it, get used to the gates? You got to walk through. You got to stop and wait. Yeah, there they are. I'm a couple minutes delayed, but yeah, that's it.
So Rip Curl
I
sent
noticed
me
the last-
this picture. He said that they just popped up at Walmart, and this is a new
Nope.
thing. So apparently
No, Fred-
Walmart's doing it too.
Everybody's doing it. Yep. Fred Meyer's is already doing it, and they've been there for a few months.
So if you guys don't know what this is, these gates are going to go close. You are going to have to look up at a facial recognition camera and then go through, almost like you were going at like a train station or something, or a light rail station, and you pay your fare or you use your card, and then the little clicker or counter goes tick tick. But this will actually be powered by face, so you don't have to pay. You just pay with your face. This is the scariest thing ever because we knew it. We called it, dude. Thanks, Red Pill.
I'm going to give them a nickname.
What was that?
They're called the cattle.
Sorry, you cut out the cattle. What?
The cattle guards.
That is that the actual name for these kind of fencing? This weird little gates?
We're going to call them the cattle guards.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's a good name for them because or the sheep pass through.
Exactly.
And
it'll be one at a time.
Yeah.
You look up, you get in. You look up, you get in.
And I guarantee you, on the bigger stores, they're going to have a human being there, sitting there and waiting, and just kind of like self-checkout. There'll be a security guard, and if you try to go through without doing it, then it'll have you walk back through and look up at the camera. This is scary, and people don't care. Don't go to a store that ends up doing this. Right now, the gates are open.
If you boycott it now, what are they going to do? Nobody's going to go to the store and spend the money. But where do you go to get your groceries? You have to go there.
It's just really, really, really freaky. It's annoying. It's just scary. All right. Well, is there anything else you wanted to point out, Red Pill Rob?
They just opened up a Jackson gas station on 320th and Pack Highway coming off 18 where I live. And I drove by there after your little ordeal at the Jackson gas station, and I wanted to see if they had that. They haven't had it yet, but all the crime in Federal Way has gotten pretty bad where they lock the doors where you have to be buzzed in between 2 in the morning and about 4:30 in the morning. So I guarantee you in the next 2 weeks, that'll be in there because it's a brand new Jackson gas station.
And the neighborhood that was in was a really bad neighborhood, and that's where how they're justifying it right now, including in Oregon. When I read you guys that article, the Jacksons that I went to was in Tacoma, Washington, and it was a very, very bad neighborhood. I mean, literally, even on the B-roll that I got approached. I got approached about 4 or 5 times because I had my big, nice, Canon camera on me. And it was like, they were like, "Oh, there's a gold mine right there." There was like literally, I'm not exaggerating. I lived in ghettos. There was like 9 or 10, maybe even 12 like crackheads / drug addicts, drug dealers on the side of the gas station. So I understand why. I mean, they were literally doing deals. Like you know what a deal is, right? The crackhead walks up, hands money to the dude in the Denali. The guy gives them up and then serves them up, and then another guy would walk up, and I'm like, wow, this is bad. I've got my newborn, my 4-year-old, and my 13-year-old all in the car, and my wife, and I'm just thinking, like, this is bad. So that's how they justify it now, but how it's working is they're training people to use it. It's not right. Like you said, if you boycott this now, once they put that in, no owner of any store will continue using facial recognition if nobody buys their crap. Looks like Red Pill Rob is disconnected. Okay, so Dex, we lost Red Pill Rob. It just kept trying to connect. We're having lots of connection issues, and it's not my system. I just did a test too. Whatever ends up happening, Dex. Let's see here.
Hey, I'm trying to get him back on the line.
That's okay. And then he was close to it. I did want to say bye, though. Facial recognition at shops like Walmart and others, new gas station. Oh, man. Thing is they won't do that in Bellevue or here, like the schwanky place like where Bill Gates lives in Medina. They won't do that. Red Pill Rob, I was just telling him, Medina. Do you know where Medina is? Where Bill Gates lives and all that.
Yes, I do, Marv. I must talk in AI so we don't get disconnected.
But you know that they wouldn't do that in Medina, right? They would only. No rich neighborhood is going to put up with that crap. They're not going to look up at the cameras. But, of course, they do it in the impoverished neighborhoods first because those guys just want their stuff. They have no choice.
It's a test to see how they test it out to see how it goes. And look what's happening. Slowly, they're going to roll it out.
Well, that's what's
The next
crazy.
thing you know, it's like, look up here.
So just to let you know, Red Pill.
It's for crime prevention. It's for crime prevention.
Well, Red Pill, these people that I watched were trained. The people that were regulars there, they automatically got out of their car, looked straight at the camera, and lifted like they knew how to do it. The people that went there every day were trained.
Must look at camera, look to me, identify, you may enter.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Keep doing your robot voice.
Look at the camera, you compute, enter, you must, you are welcome, enjoy the Twinkies and the granola bars, have a slushie.
All right, Red Pill. All right, well, Red Pill, it was nice having you on the show. Much appreciated. Please call in again, okay?
Does not compute. Goodbye.
Bye, Red Pill. All right, and then, by the way, so Dex, if Red Pill has a channel, please add it to our website. I didn't see one on there, so. The Walking Carpet Galactic Review. Wow, that's a name. They want to talk about sleeper cells and channel UFO experience. All right, Red Rover, send the Walking Carpet Galactic Review right over.
Hi.
Hello, the Walking Carpet Galactic Review. What's going on?
What's going on, Adam? How are you this fine evening?
Good. So you want to talk about sleepers. Now,
Yeah.
what's up with that?
Okay, so I've noticed, now this is a lot, I got to pack a lot in 5 minutes, so here we go. Using the code word Arabian Nights for what we were just kind of talking about a minute ago. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so Arabian Nights. I live in a city where a lot of the princes from the Arabian Nights, they actually attend the college. And there's been just a lot of weird coincidences going on that I don't exactly link to that, but not to make jokes about gas stations, but a lot of gas stations are ran by non-foreign speaking non-English speaking Americans, you know, traditionally. And I've noticed that there's an abundance of ones in our town that have a conversation running 90% of the time while they're doing their job, and it's never in a language, you know, recognizable. It's never, you know, anything.
Where are you talking about, like the Bluetooth? Like they're on their Bluetooth talking to somebody? I've noticed it's traditionally they're
and-
talking to somebody in their country.
Exactly.
But I think that is part of a cultural thing. Like they're here and their whole family's back there. But here, if you just in general, you shouldn't talk on a phone while you're working, especially if you're in customer service. I mean, like that's the only job I've ever seen that, and it doesn't matter what culture they're from. It's just rude in my opinion. But yeah, I think everybody's seen that.
I would agree completely. Yeah. And then, I always wondered, with that whole idea of the sleeping celluloid, what potentially could be stopping them from, planning, someone somewhere, it doesn't matter what nationality, they could be from anywhere. But what if, what we're hearing or what we can't understand is things that we need to be understanding and need to be hearing. That's just what I'm getting at with that one.
Well, we had a caller, by the way, just while you're still on that, we had a caller about 6 months ago that said similar thing about the gentlemen that hang out in Starbucks or the Uber drivers and things like this. I guess the reason that doesn't work is just because, if that's like hearing Spanish and saying, well, they could be, just because it's another language doesn't mean necessarily that. So, I mean, I'm sure there would be people up in arms about that.
Never want to pigeonhole. I'm with you. Never want to just accuse. Never.
No,
but
I get you.
It's one of those, the big what ifs. It's the big what if.
I think it's because people don't know how to recognize what culture different people. There's like 12 different cultures that may have similar cultural looks, but then you don't know what country. And some countries that would not even be an option, and I'm sure they get accused of that kind of stuff. But then again, there's 3 or 4 countries where it's like they come from war-torn countries and they might be bad people. Just in general, they've been through some stuff. But again, that's the thing. That's the thing that you don't want to get into is judging by the look. But I get what you're saying. I do. So you said there was something else as well?
And I got one more little fun thing. It's more alien oriented and it's fun, so we can kind of go free ball on this one. Here we are going into 2020, and several years back, some buddies of mine, we were hanging out. And it was late in the evening, going on to 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting close to my time, so I'll be fast. We were all, just having a good time, and we saw this star just appear in the sky, and it kind of caught us off guard, and we stood in a row, and we watched this thing. Now, it did a zigzag kind of falling pattern. It fell straight down, and then it fell up to the right, and then it zigzagged to straight across to the left, and then it kind of went back up diagonal again. And then as we're watching this, we're all kind of looking at each other and being like, are you seeing this? Because I'm seeing this. And we're all just in awe. And this thing drops down and just zooms off. Like gone. Zooms off. And we all sat there in awe for probably a good 30 minutes just talking about it, right? Well, I'd say a good 2 years ago, I got a hold of my 2 buddies and I was like, hey, I've just been thinking about that. Draw what you saw on a piece of paper and take a picture of it and send it to me. Well, they did. And all 3 of our drawings are the same. We all saw it. It wasn't fake. It was undeniable. It was unnatural. And it definitely does not, it couldn't have been a shooting star because it had formation and pattern. And when it zoomed off, it looked like a shooting star. It flew off that fast. And that's one of the times that I've seen something interesting in the sky. The other one was a meteor that flew in right in front of my house and had smoke behind it, and it was crackling. It was pretty cool.
Now, I ask, was this kind of like, have you seen the video above the temple where the...
the thing that drops down, hovers, and then just gone?
Flies up?
It was very similar to that. Imagine it very much like that. But this thing, it went down and then diagonal up and then across and then diagonal up and then down and then gone. And I mean, it was crazy, man. It was one of the cooler things I've seen. But there's that. But I want to say, hey, like everyone does, your show freaking rocks, man. It really does. I've been with you since you were at you were on patrol on foot, talking to the guy at it was about Cascadia and having a bug out bag and all that stuff. God, it was about a year or 2 ago or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, you've come a long way, man. And I want to say great job on the progress. And you have some of the coolest moderators. CJ Blaze. Oh, yeah. For the Frog. Trinity. Whoop, whoop. Get it.
Hi-ho,
And Dex,
Kermit.
dude, you're so polite.
Well,
Hey,
and
they're
thank you.
fantastic peoples, man.
No, I'm glad you said that. There's a big list of them. There's a handful, too, that are just, like, literally go above and beyond. And, no.
Lisa. Goodness. Lisa, big hugs. Oh.
Okay,
Dynamite.
did you see the episode the Thanksgiving episode where we used the gobble sounds?
Brother, I've seen them all. Of course.
That was Lisa does a great turkey impression. She goes, I can't do it. She's probably blushing and freaking out. Like, oh, everybody's gonna know I'm the turkey.
Like, it's like this, Marv.
It's like Sheen on the Warrior Princess, only she does the turkey thing. I can just see her holding like a sword and doing the turkey gobble. Anyways, this just got even weirder. So thank you for calling in. I appreciate you.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Oh, and P.S. Get your snow speeder back in the background. My entire platform is Star Wars merchandise and fun stuff.
It might change. It might change completely. I might have to take everything out of here. I don't know what
the snow speeder. That's all you'll need.
I know. Well, we'll see. We might have to change my whole background because of COPPA. Well, you have a good night. And
dude, I had to take mine. You too.
Yeah.
I'll call back, man.
All right.
Big hugs. I know time is time. I love you. Have a good night.
All right, you too. Bye-bye. Fun guy. Let's see here. Speaking of mods, and then it says, Sammy Lee, I've been blocked from commenting. I spoke truth. Wow. We can see you. You're not blocked. You probably got quieted or something, but sometimes they do it on accident because the chat goes so fast. But if you did do it because of something, I know your previous one says definition of Discord, active quarreling, conflict resulting from Discord among persons or factions. It won't allow me to link the site for reference from Webster's Dictionary. It's why no one can agree. Just so you know that's not them. It doesn't do links in there. Only the mods can do links, and that's for quite an easy reason. People used to come in once we started getting over 2,000 people would come in and basically just advertise their own channels, which is great. I support everybody doing that. But again, when it got to the point where it was 20 channels, it was just channel, it became one big advertising group. So we stopped doing the links. If you do want to share something though, Sammy Lee, call in and we can get that link, and then we can even add it into our website. And then Craig Mumbo says 5:07 p.m. Craig Mumbo, my daughter sent me a photo from her Euro trip of a strange statue at the entrance of the Colosseum. Turns out it's Moloch. Creepy. Yes, Moloch is all over the place now. People were talking about Moloch and how the Vatican, approved it. I don't know if that's the same one. Very, very scary stuff. Mr. Grumpy George Papa to Isaac says, I'd have to guess if the name of the female dummies sent to moon have names, maybe Clinton, Harris, AOC, Pelosi. Shut up, Isaac. Tyler, please. I get it. You just had me tell your son to be quiet. That's funny. Isaac, Tyler, I didn't mean it. Running with Scissors, stopping by to say, boy, howdy, son, and my Foogle Fam. Bass Shadow, stay on the lookout for 5.0 quakes on the West Coast. Word is Cascadia won't be far behind, like a week. Congrats on the award. Much love. Bass Shadow, I've been talking to a whole bunch of people about Cascadia. I'm not forgetting about it, and we're covering a lot of different things over the next couple weeks. Sammy Lee again, thank you so much for that. Dakota Dad, thank you. Art Toonstall, thank you for subscribing. As always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. And then Ilea Love says, I taught myself a few Hindi phrases to impress a sexy Indian that worked at a gas station when I was in my early 30s. I can only remember how to say, thank you, see you late. And Ilea Love is actually, I guess it was a sexy Indian man, huh? Let's see here. And then Sammy Lee, just for anybody who has issues in chat, or if you feel like you've ever gotten wrongfully anything, sometimes just accidents happen, just make sure to email Adam at marfooglenews.com. But usually sometimes people think they are, but they're not really, just because if nobody responds or something like that. Let's see. And then, by the way, the mods only follow they go by a very specific rule set, and it might be my fault. So, and if it is, we can work out our differences. Okay. All right, let's see here. All righty. Up next, we have Rip Curl. Dex, it's not pulling through with the Rip Curl. Looks like it's trying to send it now. Rip Curl, you are live on Marfoogle TV. This is Marfoogle.
Hey, Adam, how you doing? How are you guys all doing?
Oh, everybody's good. We just showed the picture you sent me. This was actually sent to me by Rip Curl, in fact. Let's see. I thought I had it here. Either way, I had the photo that you took of... where did you get that photo from, actually?
Well, and that was from a Walmart. That's where I saw that one. But, and it's great that Red Pill Rob called in, because it sounds like Fred Meyer and them and are all following suit. I'll be taking a visit to those stores as well. I just wanted to give some information because me, I see things like that, and I get to talking with managers and employees and people, and just start feeling, figuring out what's going on and what they feel about it, and if I can get a little bit more on the subject. And it's kind of interesting what they said. The manager, of course, like he said the canned response. He said, "Oh, that's for shoplifting and security." And I said, "Well, what do you mean by that?" And he said, "Well, so they make a run for the door with a shopping cart full of stuff, which I've never seen in our town, but they make a run for the door and that'll shut to keep them out. The problem with that is there's no pre-sensors if you look in that picture." So I was kind of like, well, how's that work?
Well, that's because they're not there really yet. They're still setting it up.
Well, right. Well, they are. They're getting us used to it. But so that's what the management said. But I decided, because after seeing things like Jay Stone had sent pictures of the robot, and other people had sent pictures of she sent the ones of the floor thing, and the other ones with the robot that goes around and answers questions or looks for, just filming all the time, looking for shoplifters and stuff. That big, tall blue one that goes back to its little stall. We don't have those yet. But I got to talking with the employees of Walmart there and asking them, and I got some information, and they said in their meetings and so forth, that's what they were said to tell people when they see that, just to get them used to it. Oh, it's just going to be a security thing, something just to get used to. You don't have to worry about it. You can still come in and out, which is what he said. But the employees painted a little different picture. We got to talking about, of course, the facial recognition and so forth like that. And one of the employees said, well, yeah, eventually there'll be a camera here. Or they've also talked about replacing the front greeter with he goes, have you seen the robot thing? And I said, well, yes, I have. And he says, yeah, there's going to be one of those possibly right here. And it'll be a permanent one. And it'll actually greet you. It'll say, welcome to Walmart, come on in. And I said, really? And I said, and so it'll have a camera on it. And he said, yeah, that's how it knows to open the gate for you. So just like with what you saw, it got me thinking about the story that you saw where they're making a database, because we know they have facial recognition. In fact, the employees at Walmart actually confirmed that. That is the reason why they moved them down, they said, so they could get a better picture of people's faces, because they do keep a database of people that have been booted from the stores or that have been suspected of shoplifting or caught from shoplifting, so that they know they're in the store the second they come in. And so we got to talking some more about it. And I said, so I asked him, I said, do you think that might be what that robot's going to be for at the front? And he said, well, yeah, it'll shut the gate if it's somebody. He says that's what they're working towards, is getting the system running for shutting that gate. And I said, yeah, because I don't see how it's going to stop them from getting out necessarily. And so I started asking them, too, how do they feel And we've had all but 5 maybe cashiers replaced with all of those automatic, check yourself. And each one of those has a camera too that's right in your face. And he says, yeah, supposedly they say that, nobody's lost their jobs, but that has been worrying people. And the way I see it is they're getting us used to all of that kind of stuff. I mean, to where it's not just going to be the facial recognition to slam the door in your face or to catch you inside of there, but they're getting us used to being herded into areas because you have to walk through this channel and then go through these pay booths to pay for your stuff. And all that's going to lead towards no cash, because you don't need cashiers if you don't have cash, right? And so it's preparing us for all of those kind of things. And that leads back to the fact of the Walmarts that closed and being tied with FEMA camps, and some people say, as well as DHS saying, yes, we do work together with Walmart. They said that in the past in a video that everybody knows about. So if you start putting all those things together, this is what they're slowly doing is getting you used to that. And in fact, one of the employees I talked to about it, because I talked to multiple ones as I walked through the store, I said, so that roaming robot, are you guys going to get one of those? And they said, yeah. And we got to talking about the possibility again, because I wanted to confirm it, of one maybe being at the front door involved with those gates and people getting, coming in and out of the stores. And the person that I was talking to, well, she had said, well, yeah, and at some point, greet you by name. And I said, greet me by name? How on earth are they going to do that? Well, they'll know through your transactions at the register and coming in and out of the doors.
Oh, my God. That would...
said they will know that you are not only a good or a bad person that they need to keep an eye on so they can follow you around the store. And she said, but they'll also be able to, because you pay for it, it's taking a picture of you. Most people are going to use credit cards because there's not going to be as much cash being used because it's harder to use those machines. And there's only a couple that take cash, right? That's not an accident.
Well, okay, so
That's
at
purpose.
Albertsons or any place that has your last name, have you ever had the checker at Safeway? This was a customer service thing. So did the first time that somebody did that? So when the Safeway checker rung you out and said, "Well, thank you, Mr. Rip Curl," and you were like, "Wow, that's
right.
Actually, like, that was nice. Like, it's personable, right? That's customer service." And they say, "Thank you, Mr. Jones. I appreciate it." Or if you go to a fancy place and they know your name and they remember it, "Hello, Steven." It's a big customer service thing to remember your name. That's a huge deal, right? But if you're talking about getting this from facial recognition from a greeting bot, and they can when you use your card, or when you use your value, your VIP card, and they actually know that's you, that's scary.
Well, right. And see, I'm so glad you said that, because that's exactly what I was thinking is they just slowly condition you to it. Because at first I go, hey, thank you, but you don't have to call me Mr. My name's Rip, right? But we get used to it. And that's exactly what these things are used to doing. But how creepy is that it's going to know that as you enter or leave, because it's keeping that close a track of what's going on. But mark my words, and this will be the test of whether or not I'm right or not, but they'll start first with a human greeter at the door that knows you by name as you come in, because they'll have one of those little readers in their hand, and it'll send them a thing saying Mr. Curl. Or they'll even have a screen they're looking at, and they'll say, "Welcome, Mr. Curl," like that, right? And then it'll also start slowly by the machines as you check out will start to say. Now, it won't be a person, it'll be a machine, and the machine will say, "Thank you for shopping at Walmart, Mr. Curl. Have a nice day." Then will come the robot at the front door, and then whether or not you get in and out of the store because you're a good or bad person. And then who's to say that it doesn't start doing it on credit rating? No, you can't come in, you don't have a good social credit score. I'm just saying, once we get that far, I'm sure it's like that in China already. So you see the road they're kind of easing us down there. They have to ease us slower down that road because we wouldn't just go for it like China saying, guess what, social credit score, you stay at home, you can't fly.
Yeah, they have to walk our hand down to the water and make us drink. And then once we get to the lake, we're going to be gulping it in. And every little thing will be, known, from what kind of products we like. And get this, personalized suggestion. You know how they have little things that stick out of the aisle? As far as or at the gas pump, you know how the gas pump has little advertisements? They'll have personalized, get this, personalized advertisements in each aisle. So say you're walking down an aisle, you actually might miss a couple products that you might need in your grocery store. Think about this when 5G is all connected. Now they have smart fridges that will tell you what's in your fridge, right? They know. Well, think about when you connect that to, say, the Safeway app or the Fred Meyer app or the, Target app, and you walk down the aisle and a little screen that reads your chip. You are in that aisle. It's reading that you're close to the aisle. And it says, hey, Adam, you're all out of milk. You should get some on aisle 12. This is where it's headed. And if you think I'm joking, it's already there. It's just they're setting up the whole grid for it. They're setting up the smart chips. Skynet from Terminator is actually being set up as far as the actual Skynet chip set is going to make this all possible. This is where our planet is. I love that you went there.
I love that you went there and connected that dot. I do, because you're so right. Think about it right now. This family already has used the automatic order your groceries and drive up with your trunk open and they put it in, right? Okay. So with that, let's say we start going into the store, just like you said. I mean, we keep all of our groceries that we need on the list. And this goes with the Internet of Things. They actually have refrigerators that will tell you what you need and put it on the list for you. You don't even have to remember. So then you're exactly right. You'll be walking down the store and you'll pass something that's on your list, because I do everything on paper, right? But it'll say, hey, just a speaker will come up and go, hey, Mr. Curl, you forgot the milk that you need, right? You're exactly right. And that's exactly what they're going to do.
What's on the screen right now is Smarter Fridge Cam Object Recognition. So it's actually recognizing the milk that he's putting in there. I mean, this is not a joke. This isn't like a patent idea. This is what is coming. And just like now, some things that you buy come standard with features that 20, 30 years ago, you were like, no, that was the expensive one. There's so many standard features on things. Some, like your phone, right? Even the crappiest Walmart phone has so many features built in because now it's cheaper. All fridges will have this kind of system, and it will be hooked up to Wi-Fi, and it will be hooked up to the internet, and it will be hooked up to Google, and it will be hooked up to the grocery store. That's the thing. And your Ring doorbell will be hooked up to the police station, and you will be living in a condominium stacked on top of other condominiums, and you will be completely and 100% controlled, and you won't even know it. Sorry.
Well, and you're absolutely right. And the one last thing I'll say in parting is that this isn't new. They've tried it before. Being in the building trade and so forth, smart homes at one time, 10 years ago or more, were advertised, ones that talk to you and you talk to it, and it shut off your life and everything. And back then it fell on its face and flopped because they tried too hard, too fast. But think about it now. They have it. People have accepted it. Why? Because, like you said, they walked them down to the water to show them it's wet. And you're exactly right. And now we have machines that greet us and talk to us and find us things and all of that kind of stuff. And it's just a huge, giant invasion of privacy is the biggest problem.
Rip Curl,
we didn't even think about it.
Perfect way to end that. I appreciate you calling in, and please call in again. Of course, Rip, you are an awesome guy. Thank you for, bringing that to everybody's attention, okay?
I appreciate it, and I love the family. You guys are all great.
All right. You have a great night. Be safe.
You too.
Bye. He just made some awesome points. Rip Curl is awesome. If you haven't checked him out, please go do that. You can actually go to our website and find his his information there as well. Up next, we have Solomon. Solomon, you are live on Marfoogle TV. What's going on?
Hey, Adam, how you doing?
Good. So I'm gonna pull up your card here real quick. It says that you are a first-time caller and people in Michigan need to watch the skies. What's up with that?
Well, I live in Battle Creek, Michigan. I've been living here my entire life. I was born and raised, and I've noticed. I'm like, I know you guys don't have a good relationship, and I'm sorry you guys don't. But I'm kind of like Richie from Boston. I don't have a lot of friends and family that I associate with, so I kind of stay on my own. And I've been like watching the sky. I've been watching the military activity in Battle Creek and around in the surrounding area.
By the way, he doesn't have a bad. He has a bad relationship with us. There's never been a problem. I think a lot of people can see that it's just like pure, like, just one of those. You ever met somebody you just look at and you're like, that guy's a douche? I think that was his. I think that's his impression of me, and that's totally fine because he literally like threw out some videos that were like didn't even make sense. He didn't do any kind of research on what they meant, and I was thinking, come on, Richie, you're better than this. I watched him for years. Unfortunately, he's got a problem. I don't, and I forgive him because I think he didn't know what he was talking about, and he just kind of got past himself. But yeah,
I think it's just that we as human beings, we get very opinionated, and we discover something, and we're like, nope, that's it, that's what it is. And then when somebody else comes along and has a different way of doing things, and it has a different idea or a different opinion, we get a little defensive, and people like. Like Richie and me, because I am the same way, honestly, we don't like it. So we kind of
like I said, you can end up disliking somebody and liking him later on. I have nothing personal against Richie, but I get emails all the time saying Richie said this, Richie said that. The thing is I think from the first off, we got off on the wrong foot. We met through a mutual person, and it just never ended up well. But, who knows? Down the road, we might all have to team up to be against everybody else. But you know what I mean? So hopefully...
And you bring that up, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to call, because I wanted to say that for the people who are watching, the whole Marfoogle family, and I'm relatively new. I've been watching for a while, but this is the first time I've decided to actually call in. It's actually the first time I've actually caught the call-in show, honestly. I'm usually asleep by this time. But, and I know it comes up in random times. But I just wanted to say that everyone should really take what they see in the news and what they hear from truthers or what they hear from any other media source, and just take it with a grain of salt. Yes, a lot of things are happening, and it's scary, but at the end of the day, everything is going to be okay. Everything is part of a grander plan, and you just need to not worry about it. Just go through your day-to-day and protect your own, worry about yourself. And if you are of the faith, make sure that you're praying every day. If you're not, just make sure that your family is good and spend as much time as you can with them, because things are going to get worse before they get better.
So sum it up in a million things. Sometimes I wish people understood that is kind of my attitude about things. If people follow me on Twitter and follow me everywhere else, I say, put on the full armor of God. That's said way too much, and people don't get the whole meaning of that. Like, really understand that we all die at some time, and if you do have a faith or you do not, for me, it's like I know I'm going to go sometime. I'm okay with it. And when it does happen, of course I have fears. Everyone has fears. But like when we get down real to it, things like this, when we have disagreements with people and all this other stuff, really other outward things come into it. Money comes into it, or this comes into it, or that comes into it, or looks or appearance. Really, we have to realize that it is just, it is absolutely horrible where the planet is going. And we have to be okay with each other.
Right. And these are materialistic things that you cannot take when you die. You just can't. You're not an Egyptian. You're not going to get buried with them. Sure, you could ask, but at the end of the day, you can't take it when you die. So the real thing that people should focus on is the relationships that we have and the relationships that we can build, and make sure that those are good, because that you take when you die. That's energy, that's love, that's caring, that's kindness, something that this world is missing. You take that when you die. But the money, the stuff that you bought, like Adam, I love all the Star Wars stuff that you have in the background. I have a few things of my own, but you can't take that when you die, you know?
No, you can't. And that's actually like my therapy. A lot of people have said that too. That's actually a life lesson in itself. So when you build a Lego, especially the big one, you look at a picture and say it has one piece to start. Then you look at the next picture and it shows you where 3 other pieces go. And then the next page, when you flip it, it says, here's one more piece, and it shows you where it goes. And you do not have to think. You don't have to read. You literally look at a picture and then you do one step at a time. You do not have to do any kind of thinking. And it's like you're doing this for a thing. It's kind of like you drone out, but you also get to focus. And then at the end, you have something to show for it. It's like one thing is nice, being told what is the next step. Nothing in life is like that. We don't know where the next step is. And that one, when I sit down for a couple hours and do one, it's like, you know what the next step is. For once, you're being told and how to build it. And when you're done, you know you're going to have that object. So, I mean, there's something to be said about that. And I think but we also have to be okay with not being able to know.
You're absolutely right. Because not to plug myself, but I guess I might as well since everyone's listening. I'm a creator as well, but I used to do Legos when I was younger. I guess I kind of grew out of it. I'm trying to get my son into it. But anyway, I create songs. I create music. I'm a songwriter, but I don't do it for the mainstream reason. Everyone's doing it for fame, fortune, and money. I'm doing it literally just to get the word out, get the truth out by any means necessary. So. Like, I understand that. It's like when you take time on something and afterwards it just feels good to say, yes, I completed this. And I think that people don't understand what that means. Younger people today don't understand what that means. Now, I'm 27. I've only been on this earth for a hot second. But I've learned a lot in my time.
Well, you can't plug yourself without actually plugging. What's your website, or what's your thing, so we can add it to the website at the end?
Okay. I'm located first on Facebook. I know that's not a platform that everyone likes right now, but I'm doing it to prove a point. I'm on Facebook as Solo Z. That's a Solo space Z, like an initial. The Voice, very easy to find. My Facebook, honestly, I don't care if people add me on it if you want to. It's Solomon Zachariah. Let's see, what's another one? Oh yeah, I'm also on YouTube, not too heavily because YouTube does not like me at all. Does not like anything I do at all. I can't upload anything, can't do live streams, can't do
Welcome
anything,
to the club.
A few videos are on there. Huh?
And then how do we find it on here so I can have Dex add it? Solomon
Zachariah. It's Zachariah spelled with an E, not an A. In fact, I probably could bring it up right now and
let me see. How many? Let's see here. Send us send a text to the 224400 Marf with your link, and we'll put it up on the website. Okay.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
And I might have been able to find it. Let's see. Oh, let's filter channel. Bam, bam. Channel. No results found. We'll find it. I don't know.
See, like I said, they've made sure to shut me down. Like, honestly, after the 10th, my channel might not be there anymore. So, but I'm still on Facebook.
I understand that. So I hear that. So we'll figure it out. We'll get you on there, and we'll get you on the website. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Up next, we have John. John is up next, and he wants to talk about the military. Let's see here. It looks like... Let's see. I don't know. When I looked up Zachariah Solomon, it was a bunch of evangelos. That's how to describe what's his face. Angelus. I can't say the word. John, you are live on Marfoogle TV. What's going on?
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Good.
Hello to the whole Foogle Fam.
Hey.
First time caller. I'm amazed I got through.
And you want to talk
I've been
about
listening.
military research and development? Oh no, I'm sorry. It looks like you have a background in military research and development. And we lost him. Dex, we're gonna need to get him back on, especially with that background. It says he's a military research and development background. How sea trails were started for mass inoculation for future outbreaks. What? Maybe they heard his voice and cut it off. That's weird. He knows. I hope he knows to be careful with that subject. And it looks like Dex got cut too. Wow. Dex, are you still there?
I'm here. I'm trying to get him on the line.
That is pretty weird. They have voice recognition too. All right, John. John, we've got you back here.
Okay.
Now,
How are you?
from the description, I'm good. So the description that he left is military research and development background, how sea trails were started for mass inoculation for future outbreaks. That's a pretty crazy claim.
Yeah. Well, it's true. You can look it up. It was part of the Small Business Innovation Research Program. It was let out in a solicitation in the 1980s. I worked at Wright-Patterson in research and development. And the original purpose for the program, the premise for it, was mass inoculations of the population in case of some type of an outbreak. Because whenever something like that happens, you can never get everybody inoculated. There's always somebody that'll leave the quarantine area, and or it may be an animal, depends on what you're dealing with, but that was the premise for it. And the program was funded. And programs like that always have more than one application. They never solicit anything that they don't have more than one purpose for. You can ask somebody to build you a hammer because you need it to build a house, but you can use it for a lot of other things. So
you're essentially saying, they make Q-tips for your ears, but people end up using them for arts and crafts and for applying
Sure.
glue or applying something else. So you're saying that
Sure.
originally, and this is, I have to say supposedly, even though you're saying for fact, I would love for you to even send us any information you have. You're saying that they invented the trails that come out of the plains for mass inoculation. So like basically getting us all inoculated.
The dispersion program, the project for that, was originally solicited for that purpose. I told Dex we could have a conversation off the air about a lot of things that would be of interest to you, because I've known since 1969 that we were going to be able to control the weather. And I've got information that backs that up.
Now, and so can I ask again, what do you mean by you have a background in research and development? You said something at the beginning?
Yeah, I've got an engineering background, and I've got a military background on both sides of my family, and there's plenty of people you can look up and verify who I am. So,
but do you want to say that, or do you want to talk off air?
I'd rather talk to you off the air before I go. There's some things I won't talk about on the air. Let me put it that way. But I've got information on plenty of things that you could talk about on the air.
Is there any more
But I'd
information?
let you decide what you want.
Is there any more information that? Well, actually, I would like to. Can I contact you off air? But also, is there anything else that you want to share with the people while you're here?
Well, number one, I love the Foogle Fam, all of you, and like you are fond of saying, put on the full armor of God. Don't worry about it. It's going to get worse before it gets better, and the Bible is the most accurate book that's ever been written, and a lot of people refer to it as the scriptures, and the first part of scripture is script, as in movie script. At least that's how I look at it. It kind of lays things out. But no, I want everybody to be calm and get through it.
Keep
It'll
calm.
be okay as long as you believe in God. You'll be all right.
Keep calm and Foogle on. Well,
There you go.
So can we talk off air? I would love to kind of pick your brain.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, if you wanna give me a call, or if you want to put me back on with Dex, I'll give you a email address and whatnot. We can talk.
All right.
We can talk during the day.
Okay. All right. Well, John, thank you for calling. I appreciate you. We will be in touch. Okay. Have a good night. All right. Let's move on to West Virginia Prepared Mind. I have not heard from WV in a long time on the show. She's got her own show. Let's see here. 3,300 exact. That's rare. It's a even number. West Virginia Prepared Mind. What is going on?
Hi, how are you, Adam?
Good.
I've got a piece of... Go ahead.
No.
Good. I'm glad you're good.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Just a piece of last-minute news. Somebody mentioned in chat, and I looked it up. France shut down by nationwide strike action for social justice. Today, Thursday, in France, hundreds of thousands of French workers, youths, and others protested over the former Rothschild Bank French President Macron's pension reform. Most rail, public transportation, many flights have been shut down, and they do not see an end to this. Scores of demonstrations nationwide by schools, teachers, firefighters, industrial personnel, transportation, healthcare, energy, public sector, and other workers largely have grounded France to a halt. I thought that was interesting.
Now,
how you ground a nation to a halt.
You're saying so there's no flights even going?
Yes.
Holy moly. So,
it says many flights shut down. Yes.
Let's see here.
School has been canceled.
Wow. Flights, trains, national strike hits travelers to Spain, Italy, and beyond. This looks like revolution almost. We are almost to the change that we think is going to happen. I feel it. I think a lot of us, West Virginia, you've been one of my mods for a long time now, and a lot of us feel it.
Yes.
Like you deal with a lot of the people outside. You feel like something big is going to happen. Like it's just there.
Yes. Yes. Yep. And I'm afraid that our general election, if it doesn't go a certain way, something will happen before to cause our election in November to not happen. And this is probably the same type of situation we may see.
Well, as far as all the things that are kind of lining up, in fact, speaking of, Cameron Combs says, please look up some info on the third temple in Is. We've actually covered the third temple being built, or the whole thing that's going on right now, and it's I mean, it's scary biblical. What do you have to say about biblical prophecy, West Virginia?
I think we are seeing biblical prophecy unfold day by day.
Yeah, you actually...
You can't get through another
covered
day that you don't see it. I believe 100%, yes.
Yeah, you've covered that in the chat, or not, on your show. By the way, an exception. So we have changed things a little bit on our show. But mods, if you want to put West Virginia's channel up here, let's see here. We've changed things because of the new changes coming. In fact, how things are working. And we used to put all of the channel names in the chat. Now we're putting them on the website. It actually takes more work for us to do it the way we do. But for all of our mods, including Raymond Rip Curl, what we'll do is we will put those up. You guys put in a lot of work.
Raymond Rip Curl had a great job on his call.
Yeah,
this was a scary article to me because I think this is where we're going. I think you're exactly right with the biblical prophecies. We all talk about that on a regular basis, and they started out with the yellow vest. I think we'll bypass that and go straight to this kind of situation.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be doing a little bit more. I have a surprise. Some people know it. You don't. I opened my second channel today.
That's awesome.
WVPN News. But don't put that link up.
Okay, not yet.
There's a link on my there's a link on my page to get them to that link. So that's not necessary. So each page is linked to each other. But yes, I'm going to do snippets of news.
That is awesome. West Virginia,
I covered this one a little bit more.
It sounds like you are putting your work in. So, and can you believe that you are doing your own show when this all started? When you saw your, so just so you guys know, West Virginia used to watch a lot of mainstream news, and essentially she saw one of my videos suggested. Her grandson had a phone playing YouTube and saw one of my videos and suggested. Started watching it.
A cat video.
Yep, and stopped watching mainstream news. It was one of the videos where I showed my cat. Is that really what triggered you to look? That is so funny. I was
looking at cat videos, and it was your cat video I saw and started watching you periodically. And then when you did the FEMA video, I said, that's it. That is it. I'm stuck. That kid is mine.
That is so funny.
And
because I showed my cat and I said, go over from this channel to that channel, and I showed both my cats. And I said, look at, and it was my tiny little Siamese and my huge fat 27-pound fat cat. And I go, here's the small channel, which was Marfoogle TV. I said, make sure to go check out Marfoogle News, my big one. Small, big, small, big. And then that cat video kind of, it actually had way more views than my normal videos back then because it had a cat. That's so funny. I didn't know that's how you found
me. I wouldn't even let anybody take holiday pictures of me. And now I'm on screen because of you. I would have never done it. And now I have 2 channels. I'm so thrilled. I opened the one today.
All right. Well, we'll come. We'll do a love mob later on too of your new channel after we get your. We got to get your main channel to. We got to get your main channel to 2,000 first. Again, this is
that would be awesome.
West Virginia Prepared Mind. She's always having. She takes calls as well. She does a great job. She actually. What is that program you use? StreamYard. Looks great. You can type in comments and it shows up on screen. Well, West Virginia, is there anything else you want to say?
Nope, not a thing in this world. Oh, I only have one video up on my news channel, and that's the video that you watched where I gave a shout out to Marfoogle News. So that's the only video on my news channel right now. It's about Marfoogle News.
That is awesome. All right, well,
but anyway, we got to start watching this France thing. It's worrying me. That's where we're going, buddy.
All right. Well, thank you for letting us know, and you have a blessed night, and I will talk to you later.
Love you much, and love to the Foogle Fam.
All right. You too. Bye-bye. Up to 1.9. Looks like she'll be at 2,000 here in just a second. Boom. Let's try to refresh. I bet she'll be at 2,000 now. 1.91. We're getting there. You just need 90 more people. 90 more people. And I bet you're thinking, oh, everybody else will do it. That never happens. You have to be the one. You have to take action. You are the action. All right. Let's see here. Dex, man. What a crazy, crazy show today. I was stuttering in the beginning. I was.
Well, can you hear me, Adam? I know we've had some technical difficulties. Yeah, these callers are great.
That should be our intro tomorrow, is like you just saying random like pieces of words and then me saying random pieces of words.
Yeah, that's just entertainment gold right there, Adam, I'm sure. But a great set of callers today. A lot of great information we got out. The big news we covered early on. We all need to be well paying attention to what's going on. I think WV coming in here at the end with what's happening in France is also pretty imperative for us to pay attention to, especially how that plays out and what, because those things can happen. We see them happen in lots of other countries, but a big country like France it's quite possible to see that eventually here. It's not unfathomable to think that could.
Yeah, well, Dex, apparently you just got cut off. Well,
I'm here, Adam, and thanks for all you do. Congratulations on the plaque, and much love to the Foogle Fam.
Okay, I'm actually going to be careful now. By the way, what is even funnier is for me to drop it during the intro, I literally set up like 40 blankets. Like normal person would have maybe put like a blanket, and then I literally have like every corner protected. Like it's literally, it means a lot more to me than you think. Like I can't get out of my studio area because there is a pile. It looks like a sea of blankets. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Actually, I'm uploading some footage to Patreon. I know I've done a bad job on a Patreon, but we're going to do some cool new stuff on Patreon. More vlogging stuff. Like if you want to see me and my family, what I'm doing, I'm going to do it over there. I don't give away special information on Patreon or anything like that. I never have. In fact, one thing that I'm accused of is that I don't put anything on there, and that's because I didn't want anybody to feel special for donating, and I still don't. But at the same time, if you guys want to do like more the kind of want to see how I am with my family, that would be on there. So anyways, just so much craziness. These earphones mean it's time not for an outro, not for a shout out, but a shoutro. It's where I make a fool out of myself, and if you are in the chat, all you have to do is type hi or hello, and then I make a silly song of satisfaction out of your names. Not only that, it's where I really give thanks to the people that really matter. That's you. And of course, Dex and everyone else in here that are absolutely amazing. So, it's also a dance party. It's also a German dance party at the end. It's actually, German dance parties are great, It's where we go. But anyways, you have a good night. I will see you tomorrow. Actually, Tuesday. Some would say it's not the end of the show. And whoa. And remember, shoutros are best heard with earphones. In fact, the whole episode. The whole show is better with earphones. Need a line, need a line, need a line. Gonna bring you back around again. Rapture Girl, Lindy Cass, and Lisa Maury. I want to thank Killa Marie, J Stone 78, and the rest of the crew. Just as a And remember, you can go see all of the articles over here on MarFoogleNews.com. In fact, if I refresh this right here, you will see that now the caller info is down below. Even the pictures. That's how amazing our producer Dex is. Hey, it was all about the times. My friends said we go coming back. No, everybody really wanna go show some love now. We wanna show some love now. 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 It's all about them Marfoogle family. We're gonna pump it up real quick right now with a new song. Never heard on Marfoogle TV. Because we gonna get a funky. Because we gonna play the monkey. Because we love all each other. And we do it all day. I just need your names. I said that I wanted my friends. All of my friends came, Maggie and Anita Torres. I brought you down to the provoked patriot, and it will go change in a minute. It will be. Kelly Josie and the CJ Blaze, Asher Camp with the Jonathan Esparza. Richwood adds a little paw in the Tom Wolf. Got my Cindy Claffey with my Alvin Phillips and my Anita Gill and my Love Bug 05. Real Truth got my bully for me. Hey, hey, awaken. Tim Weaver and Robin Shaw bringing it. It's all about the Illuminati. Bring it right back now. Those boys are being naughty. Glenn Snyder and the Bones and Northern Tiger. Bringing the Mandy. Talinsky on the Steyer. I know like that. Andrea's hard work. Gonna go back and hang out with Callie Bear. Jennifer Ellis. Peggy Sue Ferry. Gonna bring it back and it's gonna get hairy. No, it does not work like you do. Clarity. Never want to bring. Gotta go and see. You just wanna be. Tammy. Swanson. Panhandle rapper. Gotta bring answer. Nebuchadnezzar. It's Christmas time. And you know we will. I'll be around with Flying Brian and the gas real. Debbie Wallace gotta go down. Kimmy got to bring me down. Aaron Lettinen, I love the boom boom and the Richard Board, but likes all the room he can get for the make the light. 02420424. Gotta bring it. Oh, you know we got to go now. Just gotta go around, bring it back down. Remember, you can go to marfooglenews.com to access all of the information here today. We're gonna have fun tonight. Ha! You know, we're gonna have fun tonight. Oh yeah. This is the end of the show. You best know. We've got all of my friends here. Like no magic can't do. I got the Shirley Bryan. I've got my Shirley Bryan. And I Shirley love you now. Cause it's watching. I see the Christmas star's gonna bring it back on it now. Now. Trinity Red or Blue Pill. Hi ho Kermit the Frog here. J Stone 78. And Alice J. Kimmy Stargazer and the remaining remnant. They going on down and they walking down that carpet. And Galactic Review and Lottie play the ivory. I'm gonna go down there where the Karen says I'm gonna bring it home. I'm gonna bring it down. Just made the house fall on down. I've got to bring the love. I've got to bring the light. Cause you know Johnny 2020 later folks. I just want them off on. For peace sake, got that Bill 80s here. Rolling on, got the bad boys. I'm gonna be sure. Ha ha. I'm walking down the street with the boys. I just wish we could go down with the Coupe de Ville. I just wanna do for real. I wish I could get away. There you go. Just wanna see you back now, Crystal Strach, Casual Preparedness, All Riders, Sweet Rams, and Crazy Coyote, Dishaunty Lupierre, and Andrea Keg. It wouldn't be anything without you. And Garbage Shaw, and Robert Shaw, and Robert Alright. Ha 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 ha. Oh, we've got the Karen Satcher all over town. Dakota Dad and a Freaky Rock Bag. And I'm gonna say we'll never be sad when they go around. We're going to go back down to the sneak back. We're going to bring back an old song from the old days.
About the Aaron letting in. Gotta bring it back now, we come in. Burn them all alone, gotta go. Gotta get them eyes up. Just wanna say what's up to my hearing aid engaged. And my John Nelson and my Adza little pop. That's what it's about. It was all about them. Jeremy, Martis, and his friends. You see, they know they coming back around. Go, Stargazer and the rest, trailblazers of the best. Now they've got the next person on their list now. This one's a new one too. Just remember, I think I'm gonna fix these. It's the sound settings that are wrong. It's this and that. It's something to do with it. The first time with the songs, it's always a little bit different. Alright, burn 'em alone. Gloria White, Sylvester Stallone on his own, gonna bring it back around. Ashley Marie and Rachel Brady and Richard Borba and the rest of my friends. Carissa Kay and Eric Elliott, Anita Torres and Clarity have the dark, and I'm going to say it don't start. Thank you guys. I love all of you. Every single one of you. So thank you for sticking around through everything. Reading the gospel, they say my name. This is my heart is screaming. Karen says her was once my friend. Megan go and saying hi then. Donna Wagner and love my wife. Andrea K. and Cindy. Claffy's going to see the name they bring the same. Kimbo Bim, banana for Vim. Gotta gotta bring it hard. Thank you so much for hanging with Vincent Allen's son. Thank you for staying with me. A rocker for always being here. Hey, hey, Jay, hey, so 70, hey. Oh, with the X's and the O's I see. I just want an H and a sign. Set to bring with my friends. B.O.D. Gotta stay with you, stay with me. And now they see Teresa K. But they don't want the RJ. Julio, 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 Julio Jones. I'm from Atlanta, you throw me the ball, let's go in the zone. It's almost time for You Remember. It's that time of the day. It's that boom boom. You're listening to 104.5 Funky Marf now. You bring it down and we love mob everybody now. Yes, yes, yes. Boom, boom, yes, it's all about the funky Marf. Gotta bring it down now. Got the very fun and the market sketcher. Patrick says tech and the S don't know. I gotta go back and say what the heck. The skis, the creeper, the B.O.D. On bay and the rampage. Foogle Fam's gonna go say what he wanna say. Real true, yeah, now yeah, he got this word and the rest of them they say. All you know is about that time with the Leilani Polowski. It's all about that Tom Miller and the Sally Barnes now. You know what they do. They be Marf in the house with the Dana Marler. Put a F in that, you know. Put a D-Zimo in that, you know. Got that this message is held for review. Yeah, man. Wait, that's not a name now. Oh, the boom. Topical won't heal that rash. They got it and they get the bag. Boom, boom. No, Kim Walter, I actually didn't. But now I have. That barefoot lass and the Kim Walter go and walk into a bar. They say, what is the star seed said to Elisa R. Hall? They said, do your Daytona dreaming. Shane XCS says boycott self-checkout and save jobs. Mark Sketch says, so get the Apollo 11 Lego, Marf. I have the missile. I don't have the lander. That's the only thing. But I'll get it someday, I'm sure. Mark, if you want to send me the lander, I would be so happy. Not too many people like the outro, so thank you, Cyber Kiko. I appreciate all of the compliments, but really, this is about you. Like friends, my hand, right now. I ride. Oh, with the apple 6 and the door. Nelson, Diamond, others and jaw. Not to bring it right back and all. Jennifer L's and the panhandle. And the rap forgot to ring it back. Jenna Maria and then I want the sack. Christina Leisha, Jojo, I like me for me off the top. Yes, oh, P.O.D. It will change in a minute when the James gets so look get up in it. With a many will watch her. If you are men, you will leave watching. Ashley Marie, I think I got a package from you, but I'm not sure. Beverly McGovern, thank you for being here. In West Virginia Prepared Mind, I wouldn't be here without you. And I guess you can say the same. Marfia Foogle Fam Bam, Alfred Phillips, thank you, Wham Bam Bam. I don't know how to say it. I'm always backwards. Magic Angel 0302S. I think that works, but S2O0330 as your jam. I think that's how they say it backwards, man. Addison Starfield. I think I said that right. Addison Satterfield. Addison Satterfield. The AP is at 3% Zone 8. Ah, okay, got it. Now I understand. Discord. Cheryl Barger, check on the elders. It's cold down. I will make sure to do so. Ray de Jesus Rosales, thank you. Marie Heron, thank you so much for making it. I appreciate it. MB, Casper Sparks 81, I really thank you for being here. Thank you. I really do. Hey, haven't seen you in a while. Lillian Arilana, I really appreciate you. We're going to leave out on a different note tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for coming, and please come back on the next show. If you need to know anything about us, go to marfooglenews.com. Thanks. Started how it began. I'm not done.
We're gonna start a fire. Worlds are waiting. Flames keep getting higher. Night is coming. We're gonna start a fire.
I think it's Mark that said, oh man, if you don't, oh my gosh. You know what makes me mad is I had the actual missile and I lost some of the pieces because my daughter knocked it over. You don't have to do that. That is so awesome of you.
You want to know what's going on? What's really going on when it happens? Go to MarFoogleNews.com and get Marfoogle alerts along with a Discord invitation where you can find your local state group and get together with the Foogle Fam. You'll find fast friends where you'll share prep and intel, and there's even special groups for former and current military. But don't try and steal the valor of those who have really served. It won't go well for you. The Marfoogle Fam is waiting for you.
Just a side note, thank you for watching all the way through, and if you're watching the replay, I appreciate that. And to whoever just said that, if you have old Legos, you can always donate them to my stage. But seriously, Legos accepted. Thank you. Have a good night. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out.